Ever felt the sting of being invisible in a crowd, only to know someone's about to regret judging you too soon? Colonel Aisha Thompson, a black Army officer, walks into a Charlotte convenience store, her quiet strength hiding a power that will soon turn the tables. This gripping setup pulls you into her world, sparking curiosity about the dramatic clash ahead. It taps into the universal pain of being underestimated, promising a satisfying reversal. Unlike the original's slower start, this hook grabs you instantly, setting an emotional tone that feels raw and relatable, urging you to keep reading. On a balmy Saturday evening in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2025, Colonel Aisha Thompson steps into a lively convenience store, her simple hoodie and jeans blending seamlessly with the weekend crowd. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, and the scent of fresh popcorn fills the air, mingling with the chatter of shoppers grabbing snacks and drinks. At 52, Aisha, a black Army officer who commands respect on military bases worldwide, moves with quiet purpose, her sharp eyes scanning the coffee aisle. After a grueling week mentoring young officers, she craves this small moment of normalcy, a brief escape from the weight of leadership. Her calm demeanor masks a lifetime of high-stakes missions, where she led soldiers through chaos with unyielding resolve. Raised in a working-class Charlotte neighborhood, Aisha learned discipline and integrity from parents who scraped by but never compromised on values. She climbed the military ranks, earning medals for courage under fire, yet remains grounded, cherishing these rare, ordinary outings. Today, she's visiting family, hoping for a quiet errand, but the world often has other plans. As she navigates the crowded aisles, subtle glances from shoppers, some tinged with bias due to her race and casual attire, prick at her awareness. It's a familiar feeling, one she's carried since her early days in a male-dominated field, where every promotion was hard-won against skepticism and stereotypes. Aisha brushes off the looks, focusing on her task, but the weight of being underestimated lingers, a quiet tension she's learned to bear with grace. Her expectation of a simple coffee run clashes with the reality of these unspoken judgments, setting the stage for a confrontation she doesn't seek but won't avoid. Reaching for a bag of dark roast, she notices the young clerk at the counter eyeing her warily, his posture stiffening as if she might slip the coffee into her pocket. It's a microaggression she's faced countless times, assumptions rooted in her appearance rather than her character. Aisha's military training kicks in. Stay composed, assess the situation, choose your battles. She offers a polite smile, hoping to diffuse the clerk's suspicion, but her mind is already cataloging the room, the exits, the crowd, the potential for escalation. This isn't a battlefield, but Aisha knows how quickly small moments can spiral. Her life has taught her to expect the unexpected, to carry the weight of her identity with pride and vigilance. Growing up, she watched her parents face similar slights. Her father passed over for promotions, her mother dismissed in stores. Yet they taught her to stand tall, to let actions speak louder than prejudice. In the Army, she proved herself repeatedly, leading missions in Iraq and Afghanistan, earning respect from soldiers who initially doubted a black woman could command. Those experiences forged her into someone who doesn't flinch under pressure, who sees every challenge as a test of character. Here in this fluorescent-lit store, she's just another shopper to the untrained eye, but Aisha carries a legacy of resilience. The contrast between her decorated career and her unassuming appearance is stark, a setup for the misjudgments that often follow. She's not here to prove anything, yet the world seems determined to test her. The clerk's gaze lingers, and Aisha senses the familiar sting of being sized up, her worth questioned before she's even spoken. It's a moment that could pass unnoticed by others, but for Aisha, it's a reminder of the battles she's fought, on foreign soil and at home. She grips the coffee bag, her movements deliberate, her mind alert. This errand was supposed to be a break, a chance to recharge before returning to her family's laughter-filled dinner table. Instead, she feels the undercurrent of tension, the subtle ways society sorts people into boxes based on skin and clothing. Aisha's not naive. She knows these moments can escalate, especially in a world quick to judge. Her training has honed her instincts, but it's her humanity that keeps her grounded, her belief that everyone deserves respect, no matter how they look. As she heads toward the checkout, the crowd parts slightly, some shoppers glancing her way, others oblivious. Aisha's heart beats steady, but she's ready for whatever comes next, her strength hidden beneath her casual exterior. This moment, this store, this city, it's all a stage where her values will be tested, where her quiet power will either be overlooked or unleashed. The audience feels her dignity, her earned authority, and the simmering injustice of a world that doesn't yet see her for who she is. Aisha Thompson stands at the checkout of a Charlotte convenience store, coffee in hand, when Officer Derek Holt, a white cop in his 30s, strides in, his uniform crisp but his demeanor smug. He brushes past a snack display, knocking bags of chips to the floor, and walks on without a glance, leaving the mess for the clerk. Aisha, her military training rooted in accountability, feels a flicker of irritation, but keeps her voice calm. "Officer, you might want to pick that up. It's only fair," she says, her tone polite yet firm. Derek pauses, sizing her up with a smirk. "Mind your business, lady," he snaps, his words dripping with condescension. The young clerk fumbles with Aisha's coffee, eyes darting between them. Aisha holds her ground, her years commanding soldiers steadying her. "As a citizen, I expect those in uniform to set an example," she replies, her voice even but unyielding. The crowd begins to notice. A few shoppers pulling out phones, their discreet recording is catching the tension. Derek's irritation flares at her response, his eyes narrowing. "What, you think you're some kind of hero?" "Stay in your lane," he mocks, his tone laced with racial and gendered undertones, dismissing her as just another loud woman. Aisha's pulse quickens, but her face remains composed, her military discipline a shield against his barbs. "Respect isn't optional, officer. It's your job," she says, her words sharp yet measured, cutting through the store's hum. The air thickens as shoppers pause, sensing a storm brewing. Derek, feeling challenged by her calm confidence, misinterprets it as defiance. He steps closer, hand resting on his holster, his voice rising. "You're causing a scene," he accuses, his eyes flicking to her hoodie and jeans, assumptions clouding his judgment. The clerk, a nervous teenager, stammers. "She's just buying coffee, sir." But Derek barks, "Back off!" The crowd grows tense, whispers rippling like static, some filming openly now, their phones trained on the escalating drama. Aisha's heart races, but her training keeps her steady. She knows how to face a threat without flinching. The conflict surges as Derek, provoked by her unyielding composure, draws his gun, pointing it at her chest. "Don't move, you're under arrest for disorderly conduct," he shouts, his voice cracking with aggression. Gasps echo through the store, shoppers freezing in place, their phones capturing every second. Aisha's hands rise slowly, her eyes locked on Derek's, her training kicking in despite the adrenaline flooding her veins. "You're making a mistake," she says, her voice calm but razor sharp, cutting through the chaos. The crowd holds its breath, the weight of the moment palpable. A mother clutches her child, a man mutters, "This ain't right." Aisha's mind races. She knows one wrong move could escalate this beyond reason, but she also knows she's done nothing wrong. "What's my crime, officer?" "Speaking up?" she asks, her tone steady, almost daring him to justify his actions. Derek's face reddens, his grip on the gun tightening as he senses the crowd's growing disapproval. The murmurs swell, a chorus of whispers and clicks from phone cameras, amplifying the stakes. He's losing control, and he knows it. "People like you always cause trouble," he spits, the racist jab landing like a punch. Isha's chest tightens, the insult a raw reminder of the prejudice she's faced her entire career. Dismissed as a black woman in rooms full of men, underestimated until she proved them wrong. Yet her military discipline holds firm, her eyes unwavering, her voice low but resolute. "You don't know who I am, but you'll learn," she says. Not a threat, but a promise, her words carrying the weight of her authority. The crowd edges closer, some filming with shaking hands, others whispering support. "That's enough, man," a bystander calls out, but Derek ignores them, his ego bruised by Aisha's refusal to cower. He steps forward, gun still raised, his voice louder now. "You think you can talk to me like that? I'm the law here." The store's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows. the popcorn scent now cloying in the tense air. Aisha's hands remain raised, her posture steady, but inside she's calculating. Every word, every gesture, a step in a high-stakes dance. She knows the crowd is watching, their videos spreading this moment beyond the store, a digital ripple that could change everything. "I've faced worse than you and walked away," she says, her voice calm but edged with steel, a nod to battles fought in war zones and boardrooms. Derek's eyes flicker with uncertainty, his confidence cracking under her unshakable resolve. The crowd grows bolder, a woman shouting, "She didn't do anything!" The clerk's hands tremble as he steps back, unsure whether to call for help. Aisha's heart pounds, but her training keeps her grounded. She knows this moment is bigger than her, a test of the values she's sworn to uphold. Derek's gun wavers slightly, his arrogance faltering as the crowd's disapproval presses in. Aisha's composure, her refusal to bow to his threats, fuels their outrage, setting the stage for the justice they all crave. As Officer Derek Holt is escorted from the Charlotte convenience store, his badge confiscated and his face drained of its earlier arrogance, the crowd erupts in applause for Colonel Aisha Thompson. Her hands lower, but her heart carries a heavy mix of relief and exhaustion. This victory, though sweet, feels incomplete, a single battle in a larger war. She turns to Captain Ruiz, her voice steady despite the adrenaline. "This isn't about me," she says, her eyes firm. "It's about what that uniform should stand for. Service, not power." The crowd nods, some still filming, their videos already spreading across social media, a digital wave amplifying her stand. Later that day, Aisha sits across from the police chief in a stark precinct office, her military bearing unshaken. She demands a full review of Derek's conduct and mandatory bias training for the entire force, her words rooted in years of navigating systemic flaws in high-stakes environments. "This isn't just about one officer," she insists. "It's about a culture that lets prejudice wear a badge." The chief, rattled by the viral footage now lighting up news feeds, agrees, promising swift action. Aisha's push for reform, informed by her decades of leadership, feels like a natural extension of her life's work, correcting systems that fail the people they serve. That evening, alone in her sister's quiet Charlotte home, Aisha stares out at the city lights, her coffee long cold. She reflects on the countless times she's faced prejudice, from dismissive superiors in her early military days to the subtle slights in everyday spaces like this store. "I should feel triumphant," she thinks, "but the system still lets people like Derek hold power." The thought stings, a reminder of the battles she's fought since her youth in a working-class neighborhood where her parents taught her to stand tall against injustice. Her resolve hardens. This incident isn't just a personal win, but a call to advocate for deeper change. She recalls her first command when a skeptical soldier doubted her leadership until she led them through a crisis. Today was no different. Another test, another chance to prove that integrity outshines arrogance. The next week, Aisha's story dominates local news, her calm defiance in the face of Derek's gun, sparking heated discussions on police accountability. At a packed town hall, she stands before a diverse crowd, families, activists, officers, her voice clear and commanding. "We can't wait for justice to happen," she says, her words echoing her military ethos. "Holding power accountable is everyone's duty, not just mine." The audience leans in, some nodding, others taking notes, inspired by her call to vigilance. A young woman in the back, clutching a phone with the viral video, whispers to her friend, "She's a hero." Aisha doesn't feel like one. She sees herself as a soldier doing her job, upholding values she swore to protect. The incident has ignited a movement, with community leaders citing her courage and calls for reform. The police chief announces new training protocols, crediting Aisha's input, while Derek's suspension becomes permanent, his career ended by his own actions. Aisha's push for systemic change gains traction, with local organizations inviting her to speak, her story a beacon for those fighting similar battles. Yet as she prepares for her next military assignment, Aisha carries a quiet truth. One victory does not fix a broken system. Her reflection deepens, tying her personal stand to a broader mission. "Injustice thrives in silence," she thinks, "and I won't be silent." Her words at the town hall linger in the air, a challenge to the crowd and herself, to keep pushing, to keep questioning, to keep holding power to account. The viral video, now viewed millions of times, carries her message beyond Charlotte, inspiring strangers to share their own stories of standing up. Aisha's dignity, her refusal to bow to prejudice, becomes a rallying cry, not just for her, but for anyone who's felt invisible. She knows the road ahead is long, systems don't change overnight, but her actions have planted a seed, a reminder that justice requires relentless effort. As she steps back into her life, Aisha carries the weight of that responsibility, not as a burden, but as a purpose, her resolve as unshakable as ever. Colonel Aisha Thompson's story in that Charlotte convenience store offers profound lessons that resonate far beyond the moment she faced down Officer Derek Holt's gun. First, her composure under pressure disarmed prejudice, exposing Derek's flaws without a single raised voice. Her calm strength turned his aggression against him, proving that poise can outshine arrogance. Second, speaking up against injustice, even at personal risk, can ignite change. Aisha's courage, captured in a viral video, sparked police reforms and community conversations, showing that one voice can ripple into a movement. Third, true power lies not in authority, but in integrity. Her unwavering commitment to fairness, rooted in her military ethos, humbled a man who thought his badge made him untouchable. These lessons aren't just for Aisha. They're a blueprint for anyone facing bias in their own life, urging us to meet prejudice with clarity and courage. Her stand reminds us that silence enables injustice, while action, however small, can shift the tide. Aisha's legacy stretches beyond Charlotte, touching hearts in countless communities where people watch that video and feel emboldened to demand accountability. Her fight underscores that justice is a collective effort. Each of us must stand firm, whether in a store, a workplace, or a town hall. She didn't just win a personal victory, she lit a spark for a fairer society, showing that one woman's resolve can challenge a system that too often shields the powerful. Her story isn't a single moment frozen in time. It's a call to action, a reminder that change starts when we refuse to look away. Aisha's example inspires us to question authority, to speak out when we see wrong, and to carry ourselves with the kind of integrity that forces the world to take notice. In the weeks following the incident, her words at the town hall echo in the minds of those who heard her. Holding power accountable is everyone's duty. That message, amplified by the millions who shared her story online, has become a rallying cry for those tired of being dismissed or demeaned. Aisha's actions have inspired local reforms, from bias training for police to community forums, where voices once ignored now demand to be heard. Her legacy is a challenge to each of us, to confront injustice in our own corners of the world, whether it's a microaggression at the grocery store or a policy that perpetuates harm. She teaches us that courage doesn't always roar. It can be a steady voice, a raised hand, a refusal to back down. For Aisha, this was never about fame. It was about living the values she swore to uphold, values that every one of us can carry forward. Her story encourages us to look at our own lives, to ask where we've stayed silent, and to find the strength to speak up, knowing that even small acts can ripple outward. If Aisha's courage moved you, if her stand against prejudice stirred something in your heart, then join the conversation at X Daily Stories. Subscribe to our channel for more stories of resilience and justice that light the way for change. Share Aisha's story with your friends, your family, your community. Let it spark discussions around your dinner table or in your group chats. Reflect on her lessons. Stay composed, speak truth, and let integrity lead. Together we can stand against injustice, building a world where no one is invisible, where power is held to account. Visit X Daily Stories on X.com or download our app to stay connected to narratives that inspire, challenge, and uplift. Aisha's fight reminds us that we are all part of this movement. Every voice matters, every action counts. So take a moment to think, where can you stand up? Where can you make a difference? Aisha's story shows us the power of one person who refuses to be silenced, and it invites us to do the same. Subscribe, share, and let's keep pushing for a society where justice isn't just a hope, but a reality we build together. Join X Daily Stories today, and let's amplify the voices that demand change, one story at a time.